Hi, everybody. Hi, Phil and Kerry.
Hello.
Hello, Sandra. Hello.
Jazz hands.
Absolutely. When the camera goes on, we just smile.
That's what we do. Yeah. We're always smiling. Hi, everybody. We just finished our Sunday gathering, and it was always so inspiring and filled with love. And love you guys so much. But we thought we'd come on just for a few minutes because there's so much coming up in February that we thought we'd just give you a little preview. And if you heard, our passion on our Sunday gathering really is to share the good word and help people not only through grief, but live a powerful life. And part of that is to tap into our own powers of our soul. You know, it's a great thing to want to believe in the afterlife and see a medium demonstration and hear other people's stories. But when you yourself can do a psychic or medium reading and you think your imagination's at play, and this is, you know, just in your own head, and have your recipient say, yes, you're telling me things about my life accurately or about my loved one, man, it's a whole nother ballgame of a way to live life. So Kerry and Phil are our tutors for so many things in our We Don't Die family. And I thought we'd just come on and share what's coming up because you guys rock.
Oh,
Thank you very much, Sandra. Thank you.
We're passionate about what we do. We're really, really passionate about what we do. And as we heard you speak about your thoughts and your intention, it got us thinking about what our intention was. And it was always, it's had a real synergy with what you've said about reassuring people that there's life after physical death. And part of our baby is the Tuesday class. In January, we touched upon the senses, that extrasensory perception, as well as the sensory perception. And in February, we're going to be moving to awakening the imagination.
Now, this is your Tuesday course called The Way to Your Spirit.
Correct.
It is. Because what we want to do is really share our experiences, those spiritual awakenings, but allow people to find those spiritual truths. But as they go through and start to really understand them, that the spiritual ability is a byproduct of who they are, then we've got to be a true authentic self. So it really is sharing those truths, but helping people develop it. And to give you a little bit of feedback of what people have said, they've become far more understanding, far more kinder, more empathic. Their perceptions of life have changed. And it's all through the work that they've done, that self-development. And we give it a name called spiritualization, the spiritualization of self.
Mm.
Well, when we started way back when with these online courses, I know we started with kind of a course that encompassed both psychic and mediumship. And then we said, you know what, there's a need for two different classes, psychic. So psychics on Wednesday, and then Thursday is our mediumship development. But then you said there's another need. And so Tuesday was created. So could you just explain a little bit more about it? Because a lot of people I know are a little bit hesitant to join maybe our psychic or medium class because they have to work with others and do readings and things. And how is the Tuesday course different?
The Tuesday class differs because it's a journey for self. There's no breakout rooms. You don't have to do readings, but we do walk you through. Last year, we had a beautiful journey from May through to December, but it's a fresh year and a fresh journey. So everything we're looking at is giving a different perspective on something you might already know. So there's lots of self-help books out there, CDs, different programs. Well, this is a program that's walking people through from January through to the end of the year in terms of finding out about self, creating insights, finding out about why we do or don't do certain things, what we might not necessarily understand about ourselves, but creating the awareness and the space, because how often do we give ourselves the space to find out about why we do or don't do things? And procrastination is, for instance, something that we've looked at. Now, we all know we do it, but do we know why we do it? And so we'll look at reasons behind that. So when we talk in February about awakening your inspiration, it's about taking all the barriers away as to why that won't be you. It's about showing you why it absolutely is you and how that can lead to a more fulfilling life and reaching potential in whichever direction they set their intention.
Yeah, and it's not just about us lecturing you and sharing the experience and telling you the truths of it. We actually do a couple of what we call experiential activities within it. So we'll take you through a meditation and specific meditations that to deal with the certain areas we're looking at, but also we'll take you through sitting in the power, and again really showing you the difference between the two, but how you can practice this every day and make it a mantra, make it a way of life, and really changing and creating a new you, a positive you, new choices, new life, absolutely everything. That's what it's all about. Giving people that knowledge and strength and resilience to say, yes, I can do this. Yes, we can move forward.
Absolutely. Lovely class. Now we move on to Wednesdays. We have our psychic development. Tell us more and what you've got in store for February.
Well, we thought we would have a journey through all 3 classes so that there was a logical step by step. So in January's class, we've looked at what is psychic? Why do we need to understand our psychic ability? Do we have a psychic ability? And I think a lot of people have been surprised. So in February, we're going to look at, well, what does a psychic reading consist of? And if we were to deliver one, how would we do that? How would we know we got to the middle? How would we know we got to the end? So we're going to give a framework about what a psychic reading should and should not be.
Yeah, so we can blind you with the science, talking about the auric field and the nervous system and how it all works. So knowledge is power. So you understand how it works, then you're able to walk yourself through it. But also what a psychic reading does, where it lets the recipient, in the case, be seen, feel heard, and understand things they wouldn't normally see for themselves because they're caught in that drama, they're caught in that issue. And it really does give a real insight and what we call the helicopter view of their life. So it's really interesting, even on the personal development side, how much you find out about yourself and how you can really bring that natural ability into your life.
Oh, now I've got a secret for everybody. So I'm going to do what Phil does. And this is coming close. Come on in. Come in close. A little closer, a little closer. Well, here it is. Now, there's a lot of people out in the world that are doing mediumship. And they're out there saying, oh, they're a great medium. They're bringing through loved ones. And what they're really doing is a psychic reading. So why this is a secret is because we want to teach people how to distinguish between what people are picking up from your aura, your soul, your experiences, and when they're really tapping into the unseen world, the spirit world, where our loved ones are all healthy, well, alive. So could you guys, you don't need to come close, but tell us about Thursday.
Yeah, the Thursday, I liked being in close.
We can. We haven't seen each other in a long time close. We can cuddle.
This is what it's like in a normal class, ladies and gents.
This is how we are. There's no facade. We are all of us when we do our classes. We are as authentic as we can be because we can't be anything else. And on the Thursday classes, we're looking at how people sometimes get lost in themselves when they go to mediumship. So they've been in the psychic class and their psychic faculty and muscle is working, and then they go into the mediumship class and they get a bit lost in the process because somehow their head goes backside foremost and they forget how to speak and suddenly everything's jumbled up. We're going to walk you through in February how to deliver a mediumistic reading and how to follow the story of the communicator and what that looks like and what that feels like and why it needs to be that way, so that the recipient leaves knowing that the spirit world is there and that the person hasn't worked psychically. So we're going to build on January, which is understanding mediumship and all that beautiful technical stuff about the auric field, and build on that about how to deliver a mediumistic reading.
Yeah, because we want you to understand what a medium is. The medium is a storyteller of life. really unfolding the evidence of the communicator in the way that they want to bring it, not a shopping list. So every contact should be unique and different, as every person in the spirit world is. And guess what? They're real people. So you're really having that conversation with them. So we're going to take you through the processes of what mediumship is, give you the mechanics of mediumship, in other words, all the tools, and take you through specific areas, but giving you a real depth of insight into those areas that probably you won't hear in other places. But also we look at it quite uniquely as well, because all three classes go together. They all bounce off each other. And so one is a good tool for the other. So understanding the difference between what a psychic does and what a psychic reading is to what a mediumistic reading is, evidential mediumistic reading, because I'm going to let you into a secret. So come a little bit closer. No, a little bit closer, because there isn't such a thing called a psychic medium. Psychic medium, that title you hear, is an advertising tool for Google and everything else. A medium can be psychic, but a psychic can't be mediumistic. So we explain the difference, and we have a little term. So come a little closer and I'll give you another secret. We'll ruin you for everybody else, because we'll tell you all the truth of it and explain it. Don't take my word for it, take the word of all the students that come on, because that little bit of insight, knowing the difference of what is what and how it works. Now, the mental faculty is exactly that. It works through what we call the conscious mind, which is the soul. The soul then gives it to the subconscious states, that side that the brain will allow, and that impresses on the mind. So we talk you all the way through the process and give you a clear understanding why it's called mental mediumship and the difference within it, but other elements of the consciousness. So it's quite in depth, and it's quite fun as well, as you can tell, because we have that little bit of fun.
And I know you shared your intention on the Sunday gathering, but our intention is about raising the standard of mediumship, not just for the medium, but for the members of the public, because there's a lot, as you said earlier on, there's a lot of people out there demonstrating mediumship where it isn't mediumship. And we were saying this today on our class. The biggest threat to mediumship is mediums out there doing mediumship that have no training and don't understand what mediumship is. But the public don't know that. So the public go away with their experience, and every other medium in their mind will work the same as that. So our intention is to raise the bar so that if you join our spiritual community, you can become part of setting that trend of raising the bar of mediumship. It's really important. One day, all of us are going to be in the spirit world, and one day we're going to need a medium who can communicate effectively and personably about us.
It's entrusting somebody to tell your story. So if we think about what would we say, our evidence is going to be different because we're all individuals, and it's having that open mind to who can come through, who's really inspired you in life, who's touched your life in some way, is there willing to come forward to still inspire you. So being open to different people and different evidences, and what is pure evidence, and what is the story, and what is emotional contact, what is objective contact. It's a real journey in itself. So having that education and that truth and raising that bar of mediumship is what we're about.
I totally agree. And for those watching, you don't need to be a demonstrating medium and work with people one-on-one to take these classes. I tell you, just for being a human being, it's just empowering to know who we are and how powerful our soul is. And there's really some magic that happens between the breakout rooms. I've had people bring through my loved ones and vice versa. And, you know, maybe our loved ones feel comfortable to come through that way. It's all practice. It's just beautiful. Now, guys, there's one thing that kind of ties everything together, and our power and our strengthening our abilities, and does so much, I think, just for our peace of mind, is that sitting in the power. So can you talk a little bit about what's happening on Sunday, February 6th?
Yeah, on Sunday, we're going to be taking people through the process of sitting in the power, letting them understand exactly what it's for. And again, you don't have to be that medium, you don't have to be that spiritual practitioner. You need just to have that mind that can go through different stages of your consciousness. It sounds very technical, doesn't it? It's a little bit of mindfulness, being aware of everything within and everything around you. And through that breath, letting that impression or that creative force of life really impress upon you and give you experiences to really heighten the senses, develop the emotions and mental and physical states of us. So we're going to take you step by step all the way through it, because we get asked all the time, what is sitting in the power? How does it work? What does it actually do? So we're going to take everybody through stage by stage by stage, explain it. But each stage we talk about, we take you through so you can experience it as well.
Because one of the other questions we get asked is, how do I know I'm there?
How
do I know? Yeah, are we there yet?
Donkey and Shrek. Be back to last week.
So as we're going to, as Phil said, walk you through sitting in the power so that you can experience it. And then when you bring it together, the soul just does what it does, which is spiritually enter into an experience of the non-physical world. And the mind kind of just gives in and allows it to take place. And as the spirit world come in, they add to that spiritual experience. So it's not anything that can be controlled by the mind. What we do is we give you the information so that your mind sits back and goes, okay, I think I understand it. Now I need to get myself out the way.
And it does help strengthen our psychic and mediumistic ability, doesn't it?
Absolutely, because we can use it in different ways. We can bring calmness, we can use it for stress relief, but spiritual development, and the key is in the word spiritual, is that development of self, as well as the mediumistic and psychic ability, because it heightens the senses of your awareness and takes you through different mindful stages to allow you to experience these sensitivities. And it's that heightening that allows you to raise, if you will, a spiritual term, vibration, raise your energy for that spirit world to come and impress upon it your loved ones. And it's funny because one of the primary things we teach is not to expect anything, is not to look or search or demand, is build that power up and that atmosphere up for those in the spirit world to be easier to come to you. And we've had some magnificent results with it, with parents with their children that have been reunited. We've had loved ones being reunited in different ways, but to feel the presence of that unconditional love, because we believe that everyone out there should feel that unconditional love of what we call heaven or the universe, the spirit world, whatever you want to call it, the summerland. And when we feel it, it's like we've not felt love before. It's incredible. So it's a process we're very passionate about, as you can tell, but we like people to understand it. That's why we're so deliberate in the practice of step by step by step. Because
in that step by step, if you're not looking to develop your psychic or mediumship, what part of it is about the self? Well, all of it. It's all about personal development. So if you're not looking for the spirit world to come in, sitting in one's own power allows us to work through what's happening in that day, what's happened in the past, where we might want to go by setting intention into the future. The greatest part of sitting in the power sometimes can be those experiences where we're sitting within our own power and unfolding our own sensitivities to ourselves. So don't feel like it's all about becoming the medium or becoming the psychic. It's about becoming ourselves and getting to know ourselves.
And we like people as well, just put this a little bit on, we like people asking questions and we can explain it to them. So it's experiential, you're able to logically go through it, you're able to ask questions, and we're able to satisfy that need in you of what's taking place. So you're coming in with maybe an idea, but you're leaving with a full idea of what it is.
I always like to use the mobile phone story here, that we each have one probably, or a computer or a tablet, and it can do a gazillion things just like our soul does. But if we don't plug it in, it's not going to work. So to me, sitting in the power really is the ultimate recharge. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. So last thing I want to ask you guys is, I know you have some specialty courses coming up as well for our students that are part of our community already. I know you have an intermediate psychic class. Then I think you also have a beginner to intermediate demonstrating medium classes. Could you just talk about that?
Yeah, what we've done is let's be honest about it. We've created something through COVID where we've got the different classes, and we've seen different needs where people have asked us. So what we've done is created different levels of tuition, so we can come into the big groups and really soak up the foundation of it. But then we've got the more speciality classes, which is about demonstrating and different stages of it. Because let's be honest, some of us don't want to take that step. We're a bit tentative. So we've brought a beginners to intermediate to advanced. We've looked at the psychic class and said we can give you a greater experience, because we love to give feedback. We love to look at the real understanding of the mechanics taking place and give you that feedback, but also give you that little bit of critique to get that little bit more.
Because the groups are small. And in those groups, everybody gets the opportunity to use their mediumship or psychic faculty. And then we can critique and give feedback. Now, it's not whether it's good or bad, it's whether the person can understand the learnings out of it. So on the Tuesday, this is UK times, at 9:30, we've got the intermediate to advanced, which is maximum of 12 people. On the Wednesday, which is the psychic intermediate class, where we use our psychic faculty, is at 9:30. And on Thursday, it's a beginner to intermediate. So we would ask that people do the same journey through the psychic, into the beginner, into the intermediate to advanced. If they can, and the thing is, when they're working and they get feedback, they also get to see everybody else work and hear their feedback. And more often than not, when they've heard everybody's feedback, it's 2 hours of tuition, because you're seeing somebody else do something you know you've done, and then you've heard us say, well, this is maybe how you could improve that, or maybe this is the way to get the best out of your ability, or maybe this is a better way to relate to the spirit world. So the feedback we've had has created the need for 3 classes, whereas this time last year we had 1.
Exactly, and it's just, this is why we've brought in the academy, and where we then do, if people can't make it during the week, they've said to us, can you do a class at the weekend? So we know that you can't have a full weekend, you might have one day. So we've done the 5-hour classes that are basically taking you through the processes of the formal training, and also we've got full weekends, and they're mixed up, but it's all the speciality aspects of mediumship, personal development, the psychic faculty. So we're catering for as much as we can through the feedback we've had, where people not just want to go through the exercises, but want the education, want the understanding, the academic side of it as well, so they can keep notes and really see the journey through it all.
Well, people can find out about these and register if they like. You can see your website there, the Spirit and Soul Foundation.co.uk. And the same information is also on WeDon'tDie.com, because we do believe in all for one and one for all.
Correct.
Everything is reasonably priced, guaranteed, service with a smile. And just for anyone who's been with us or maybe considering it, doing one of our courses, you're not expected to be great. You're not expected to get anything right. You're expected to just have the experience of trying. This is a new thing. You know, one poor lady wrote me, and after your first class this time around, she says, I got it all wrong. She says, I don't know if I should come back. What would you say to that?
We would say you have to get it wrong. You gave evidence of that today. You have to get it wrong to find out how to get it right. Psychics and mediums are not made overnight. We are all naturally psychic, and we have the sensitivity about us, but sometimes it can be really, really overpowering and overwhelming. Finding out how we can tap into that and work our way through that is what we're teaching. But to find out the right way, we have to find out what doesn't work for us. It might work for the next person next door, but it won't work for you, because we're individuals. So we need to be open to getting it wrong so that as we move down that journey of learning, we can say, I've tried that, and now I'm here, and it works better than it did. But there's nobody that has left, hopefully, not that we know of, has left saying, I felt so embarrassed. We got feedback on our course today, and we've had an email last night from a gentleman who said, I'm new to you, but I've never felt so safe in a class where I was allowed to get it wrong without judgment. That's what we're about. It's about not other people not judging, but still us not judging as the individuals, because we believe that everybody has this ability and everybody wants to help, don't they? Everybody wants to help self and progress. If we can understand what our emotions or what our feelings are telling us, then it's much easier not to get lost in that overwhelming state.
Oh, thank you both. I know if I wanted to learn to play the piano, which I don't, I wouldn't know it overnight. It takes practice, it takes dedication, but during it, there should be joy. There should be that love of music. So the same thing holds true working with our soul, but I can say that Phil and Kerry are just fabulous tutors, friends, people, and they're very passionate about what they do. And yeah, we hope you join us. Any closing words, you guys?
Yeah, we create a classroom that's safe. We create an atmosphere that's like family. As you said there, Sandra, all for one and one for all. We don't leave anyone behind. It's a true word. We had people saying, we've heard you say that, but until we came in the class, we've never experienced it. And I don't want to leave because we feel part of something. That's what we're creating here. But in the classroom, we create that safe space for people to get it wrong. And we say to them, if it goes wrong, blame us. Because it's the experience of it, because we rather you get it wrong in the classroom, so when you go out into the great big world, you get it right. That's the purpose of it. But the exercises that we set are purposely set to develop that one area, that one specific, to get you the understanding. But we don't just set them, we practice them, we show you as well. So we'll demonstrate what we're talking about. So we're asking people not to do anything that we wouldn't do, but we do it in such a way that we understand the growth of people. So we know people's learning can be experiential. We know people like to have the academic side, and we know people want to reflect on it. So we create that atmosphere. But what we try to say to everybody, and this is the bit I want to leave people with, is that you can only be the best person that you can be. You can't be somebody else. So don't compare. We don't allow that, and we have that rule. Don't compare from somebody else. Admire them, watch them, learn from them, and really reach to strive to get there. And if we can create that safe space, then there's nothing that we can't achieve. And we give you that confidence where boundaries don't exist. We can really push past them. And we've watched some really wonderful people over the last 12 months develop, and we're really proud. And it gets us quite emotional how we've seen them develop from this meek and mild person to this confident, strong person, still making mistakes, still doing things wrong, but enjoying it. We've seen people, haven't we, they've got a no and they've almost broken, but now they go, no, oh good, and it's a new opportunity of learning. So they say, okay, how can I? And it's amazing to see the transformation of people. There's no greater joy. We have children, don't we? If we're lucky enough, and we see them joy and grow, and it gives us great pleasure. It's the same here. We see people grow so much.
So it would be about setting out this year. I know we're nearly at the end of January. Everybody's eager to know more about self. That's the nature of the human being. So starting out, finding out about the psychic self, about the soul, about the spirit world, it's what we're about. Every human being is entitled to find out for sure what the meaning of their life is, and to find out that the spirit world does exist. What it looks like, I don't know, but I know what it feels like.
Oh, it's so sweet. Well, I want to thank you guys. I do love you. I know we all do. And for anyone who's watching, come join us. The hardest part is saying yes and registering. After that, I tell you, it's a whole heck of a lot of fun and a great community. So we'll let you guys go back to whatever you were doing today. Thank you for taking the time to watch.